Yes, Casanovians. So, in the stream today, so there was just a bloke picking up a set of ladders. In today's stream, I want to talk to you boys about why at the moment you might not be getting dates, specifically from daytime cold approach, and how to actually fix it. So in this live stream, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm very much just going to tell you what you need to know rather than what you want to hear. This is advice that I give to my private clients. This is advice that I would want to give to myself. Like when I first started all of this stuff 4 years ago, this is very much the blueprint that I wish had been laid out to me. It would have just saved me a lot of time, a lot of hassle, and a lot of energy, and it would give me a clear roadmap, like the specific points of what I actually need to do to get consistent dates through cold approach, which is what I wanted when I first got started with daytime cold approach 4 years ago. Yeah, so if you don't know my story, my name's Kristian. 4 years ago, I just come out of a long-term relationship. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. Didn't know how to attract the women that I wanted. Historically, I would settle for the women that I thought I could get. It was usually through sloppy nightclub interactions or house parties at university, the odd dating app here and there, but I always felt deeply unfulfilled. So I saw cold approach and I was like, go on then, I can do that. 4 years later, I've become the best in the world at it. I now teach this skill set to entrepreneurs, business owners, and high achievers. I get the best client results in the industry. You can look at my testimonials, link below, that's my website. Also, my Instagram page, @CasanovaDating. Evidence has got the loudest voice. There's no point in me saying I get the best client results in the industry if I don't have the balls to actually show my testimonial. So these are real life guys having real life results with real life women. Just shows you what's possible, especially in the modern age where a lot of guys are giving up on cold approach. They're like, it's too hard, it doesn't work. It does work as long as you do, right? To make cold approach work, it's about becoming the version of yourself who cold approach can work for. So how do we do that? First of all, you need to become fuckable. Like, the amount of bullshit that I see on the internet from supposed coaches who try and sell guys the belief that looks don't matter. Yes, looks fucking do matter. That's why I've put the reps in to become more physically fuckable. Look at who I was. Look at the way that I looked 4 years ago when I was living in that grotty apartment in central Leeds. Do you think I would have wasted so much time and energy and money on becoming more fuckable physically if I didn't think it would improve my results, right? So becoming fuckable, I've got an entire free course which teaches you step by step how to become the most fuckable version of yourself. You can download that after the live stream's finished. But boys, really simple, fitness and finances. Fitness and finances. Get your body on point, get your money on point, right? Money is so important in the cold approach game. Not so you can lead with your wallet and be in this like provider sugar daddy archetype, but so you can actually pay for fucking dates, so you can pay for better gym memberships, so you can pay for a personal trainer, so you can pay to go to different locations and be spontaneous. Money is super important, so you need to get your finances on point, right? Again, that's all available in the free course. In that free course, I literally lay out my roadmap for making my first £10,000 a month online. So if you're interested in that shit, download the course. But fitness, just actually training like an absolute savage, making sure you're wearing well-fitted clothing so you actually look and dress and feel like the most fuckable version of you. Fashion's another one as well. A lot of guys, before they work with me, they hire a personal trainer and they get themselves a personal stylist. You have to understand, boys, in the modern dating game that we're playing, where women have got more options than ever before, you do need to stand out. You need to sell yourself, right? Seduction is sales. So the way you sell is by creating a winning product, right? How can you create an offer so good that people would feel stupid saying no? It's like if somebody offered you a Ferrari for $10,000, you'd be like, fucking hell, that's an amazing deal. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get the money together. It's the same way when you wanna be approaching women who you don't know, who've got zero reason to stop and talk to you. those first few seconds of your approach are the most crucial, right? It's in those first few seconds that woman who you approach is going to decide if she wants to bang you or not, right? So we want to optimize those first few seconds by becoming the most fuckable version of ourselves. So just start off training like a savage at the gym, like out here in Thailand. I'm training Muay Thai 3 times a week. As soon as I finish my 90-minute Muay Thai session, I go to this gym and I smash another resistance training session. So dude, I'm hitting it hard, right? I'm training like an absolute savage. I'm training my fucking bollocks off, right? So understand this, like, would you date yourself, right? Would you date yourself right now? Just be brutally honest with yourself. A lot of guys, their egos are just far too big. Like, oh yeah, I would date myself. I really don't think that you would, right? Because if you could already be going on multiple dates a week, if you could be attracting the women that you wanted to attract, you wouldn't be watching these live streams because you'd already be doing it, right? So for us to actually become the version of ourselves who cold approach works for, we need to metaphorically crucify this current version of us and become the version of ourselves who is capable of attracting women organically through cold approach. So look at your life right now. What are you doing? What are you not doing? Maybe you've got a lot of toxic habits. Maybe like me, you're a porn addict. Maybe you're spending too much time scrolling social media. Maybe you're drinking too much. Maybe you're smoking too much. Maybe you're hanging around with negative people who drag you down and drain you of your life energy. Just have an audit of your life. Again, all this is available in my free course. Download that if you've not done so already. It literally gives you everything you need to become more fuckable. But dude, we cannot underestimate the importance of looks, right? Like, it does fucking matter. But there's a big difference between looking good and being good looking. And it's within any man's power to improve upon what he's been given, right? We've all got a genetic baseline that we're working with, but the way you win at the game of life isn't by complaining about the cards you've been dealt, but playing your hand to the best of your ability. That's what I've done, right? I'm 27 years old right now. At 23 years old, I was very far from the man that I wanted to be. But I made the decision to make the best of myself, right? Like, play to my strengths. What am I good at? What are my weaknesses? What can I improve? Fitness, fashion, finances, improving my overall fuckability. Like, if I've been able to do it from being in that grotty apartment, looking like a turnip, dressing like a moron, just being a low-life loser who had £24.82 of universal credit in my bank account, what is your excuse? Like, please let me know in the comments below what your creative excuse is as to why you can't get in better shape and you can't make more money, right? It's within any man's power. And again, you can look at the free course to give you an idea of what I actually did to improve myself holistically. So becoming more fuckable, right? And understanding then, looking good is simply an open, all right? So when you're going over and you're cold approaching girls, looking good is an open. So it'll buy you around 20 seconds of a woman's attention. It gets attention, but it doesn't sell the product entirely, right? And the reason why I know this is a lot of guys who apply to work with me, my private coaching clients, guys who are in my private community, the Entourage, they look good, right? They should be crushing it on paper. Like, they've got the physical fuckability on point, but they still can't pull a muscle. The reason is, just looking good is not enough, right? It will buy you attention, it doesn't sell the product. Having a good looking product, like, I don't know, the front cover of a book, it might ignite your attention, but then if you start reading that first page and it's boring, it puts you to sleep, you're like, nah, I don't really resonate with it, there's just something about this book that I just don't want to waste my time on, then you're gonna encounter problems, right? You're gonna get really good at attracting attention, but that attention will not lead to retention. So do everything within your power to become more physically fuckable. And then it's about putting the reps in, all right? So getting 100 direct call approaches done at a bare minimum, because what we're doing here, when we're doing 100 direct call approaches, is we are investing into the identity of the version of us who we want to embody. A lot of guys who claim that they're not getting any results from call approach, they're either not approaching enough, they're not approaching consistently, or their approaches are just shit, right? There's a big difference between an approach and a conversation. It's not about counting your approaches, it's about making your approaches count. The way you make your approaches count is by first of all, become the most fuckable version of yourself. So that's going to buy you attention, and then actually improving the overall quality of your conversation. So best thing that you can do is just start recording the audio of your conversation, because this is going to give you a point of reference. If at the moment you're encountering a lot of flakes, so maybe you're getting phone numbers but they're just not resulting in anything, you're encountering the good old William Flakespeare, then it's because you're not building enough investment, right? You've got the number but you haven't got the girl. So you need a point of reference. You need to find out what you don't know, because at the moment you don't know what you don't know. You can't see what you can't see. You can't hear what you can't hear. So get a point of reference ASAP. If you come and work with me, I can listen into your conversations. I always say to guys, one approach with me is worth about 30 approaches on your own. So if you're serious about skyrocketing this shit fast, there's a link below you can apply to work with me. That's the fastest way to actually get this skill set down. But if you want to take the slower route, start recording yourself. Just start recording the audio of your conversation. That's going to give you a point of reference. So maybe at the moment you're speaking too fast. Maybe you're not asking enough questions. Maybe you're asking too many questions. Maybe you're not giving enough information about yourself. So that girl has left the conversation thinking, I don't really know that much about the guy. Or maybe, and this is really crucial, maybe at the moment you're not actually putting the plans of the date in motion. Okay, a big reason why people flake is because you haven't solidified the plans, right? So when you're having your cold approach conversations, it's really important you've already got some plans in mind. So rather than just going over to girls, be like, hey, you're beautiful, have a 5-minute conversation, be like, this has been really cool, let me take your number, and maybe we can go out for drinks sometime. You're saying that shit, by the way, because you're hedging. You're playing not to lose rather than playing to win. Like, maybe we can go out for drinks sometimes. No, where are you going? What day? What time? What does she need to wear? So if you're having a lot of flakes at the moment and you're not getting consistent dates with cold approach, one of the easiest, quickest fixes that you can do is just start scheduling the details, the specifics of the date during that initial conversation. So when you're going out, where are you going to take these women? Like, where do you actually want to take them, right? So have a clear plan in mind. So maybe you're going to check out a park, maybe a museum, maybe there's this new cocktail bar in the city centre that you really want to check out. Invite her into something that you've already got planned. So it's like the plans are already in motion. You're going anyway. The date is not dependent on her inclusion, right? A big reason why you're not getting the dates that you want is because you don't know what it is that you actually want. So be specific. Where do you want to take this woman? So when it comes to the end of your cold approach conversation, rather than just taking the number and bouncing, thinking job done, no, hang in that conversation for 1 to 2 minutes more, just to solidify the specifics of the schedule. So just be like, hey, this conversation has been really fucking cool. You're actually a really fun person. You look amazing. You're also cool as well. Listen, I've got this plan. This Saturday at 7 p.m, I'm planning on going to this cocktail bar. It's just open. I don't know if you've heard of it. I'm looking for someone to go with. So listen, drop me a number and we can arrange to go there Saturday night, 7 p.m. Make sure you wear your best flowery dress, whatever. So do you understand? So it's like, you want to be getting a yes to the idea of the date during the initial conversation. What most beginners do is they try and arrange the details of the date over text. No, the texting is simply a vehicle to remind her of the specifics of the date that's already been planned. So in that initial conversation, you've said to her, listen, this Saturday, 7 p.m, I'm going to take you to this new cocktail bar. Great. Now she knows. So your opening text is simply like cocktail, 7 p.m, question mark, whatever. It's like, it's just a reminder. It's like a callback reference to a conversation which has already been had. And again, people are less likely to bail on plans they've already committed to. This is what I'm trying to say to you boys. Seduction is sales. You just want to be getting yeses straight off the bat. So that's why when I'm in London, I open with, do you speak English? Most morons don't have a clue why I say that. Like, oh, why are you saying that, bro? Of course they speak English. I'm saying it because I want to get yeses as soon as possible. Do you speak English? Yes, amazing. You kind of look French. By the way, you look beautiful. This Saturday, I'm going out to the Shard, 7 p.m. You can come with me. So just getting the specifics on point. But just understand, none of this conversation shit is going to make a shite of difference if you're out of shape, if you're wanking off into a sock every night, if your finances are in shambles, if your lifestyle sucks, if, like, do you understand? Like, this should be common sense, but common sense is not common practice. Like, dude, the amount of comments that I get from guys who are like, yeah, but this wouldn't work for average guys. Why the fuck are you still average, you piece of shit? Like, why are you trying to be average? Of course, cold approach doesn't work for average guys. Like, what moronic mindset are you currently residing in if you think that, well, dude, like, this whole pickup paradigm, right? Like, it's a decade out of date. Old school pickup, it was about faking being a man of value. It was about the 5-minute sales pitch. It was about, how can I masquerade as this high value character? Those days are gone, right? At some point, that mask is gonna slip. It's not about faking it anymore. It's actually about becoming that top 1% version of yourself. Like, that is literally what I've done, right? If I've been able to do it from the starting point that I had with no money, no value, nothing really to offer the world, looking like a turnip, dressing like a moron, you can do it as well. But at the moment, your actions are not matching your ambitions, right? That's why you're continuing to watch these live streams. That's why you're sleeping alone every night. That's why you're wanking yourself off into a sock like a loser. Been there, done that. No shame. Well, yeah, there is shame, actually. It's fucking stupid. This is me talking to myself, by the way. So, become the most fuckable version of yourself, right? Just start training like a savage. Train hard. You know, get involved in combat sports. Anything to just make your overall aura, animalistic energy just increase. So you actually, like, love and respect yourself. And then start putting yourself out there into the trenches, right? Approaching, getting 100 direct call approaches done ASAP. Understand, like, when you're actually doing these approaches, the first 100 that you do, they're very much just batting practice, okay? They're just to get points on the board, they're to get skin in the game. They're simply there for you to practice becoming that confident, capable, creative conversationalist, right? It's because you just need that skin in the game. But one of the biggest mistakes that I see with guys, and this is probably a big reason at the moment, especially if you're a little bit more experienced, why the dates have been drying up, is because you're still cold approaching like you did at the start. Just let that sink in for a moment. You're still cold approaching like you did at the start. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see guys make is they learn how to cold approach on the streets, which is amazing, right? Learn to cold approach on the streets. The streets, they're like the dojo. They're like the ultimate training ground. The streets are going to give you everything you need to master this skill set in the fastest possible time, because you've got the footfall, you've got people who are in a rush, it's like windy, it's noisy, it's busy. The streets are going to give you everything that you need. But in order for you to elevate into that version of you who can get multiple dates a week through organic attraction, for fuck's sake, don't get stuck on the streets. Understand that when you're going out there and you're doing those 100 direct call approaches, you are investing into a skill set which can and should be universally applied. Like, dude, this is so important, so please fucking listen to this, because if you actually understand and absorb this, it's gonna save you so many years of wasted time and missed opportunities. You don't have to stay on the streets, right? Once you've unlocked this decentralized skill set of the awake 1%, which is call approach, you apply it anywhere that you go. So yeah, when you see a gob-smackingly gorgeous girl strut past you on the street, of course, go over, have a conversation with her. But once you've truly unlocked this skill set, and you know you can approach any girl, anywhere, anytime, then you should be doing that. Like, anywhere, anytime. It doesn't have to just be on the streets. And this is why it's so important for you to actually build a hyper-social lifestyle where you're constantly meeting and interacting with new people, right? So it's not just coming out on the streets being like, hey, you look really nice, let's go to the Shard at 7 p.m. You can still do that, and that's great. But just think to yourself, where else can I actually meet people? Right? And just start building that social lifestyle for yourself. So you can go to classes in the evening. You go to improv classes. You can go to dance classes. Like, dude, dance classes, it's basically like speed dating. if you go to a dance class, like a salsa class, people are there because they want to meet people. I used to do salsa classes, but back when I lived in Leeds. And because you've been putting the social reps in on the streets, what you'll find is like everybody else at the salsa class needs about 5 shots of Sambuca just to start feeling themselves. But because you've been putting the social reps in, you've been doing your approaches, you've been becoming fuckable, you've improved your conversation skills, you're gonna find speaking to people as effortless as drinking water. So don't stay stuck on the streets. This is just a massive trap that guys fall into. They're like, oh, cold approach doesn't work. Cold approach is a waste of time. I'm wasting so much time walking around the streets. Stop staying on the streets then, right? The world is your playground. Everywhere is an opportunity to meet people. Positioning, yeah? Proximity is power. So where can you go where you're most likely to meet new people? That might mean solo traveling. Remember at the start, so like money is unlocking new life for yourself, right? So if at the moment you're stuck in one location, working a job that you hate, in a city that you despise, that is going to impact negatively on your dating life. And dude, I've been there. Like, I've literally been there, where I was working a dead-end job for minimum wage. If I wanted to go to the gym, I'd wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning in Leeds just so I could train. Then I would get home and I would be editing YouTube videos. I'd be spending my weekends coaching. So don't give me any of this bullshit like, oh, I don't have the time. Oh, I'm tired. You're not tired, you're just fucking lazy. You just don't want it enough. I was working 3 jobs before I went full-time on my coaching business. I was performing magic, I was doing YouTube, I was working, it's probably more than 3 jobs, because I was doing the coaching business, I was YouTubing, I was editing, I was learning sales, I was learning marketing, I was coaching on the weekends, I was performing magic, and I was working my 9-to-5 job. So dude, there really is no excuses, right? If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. If not, you'll find an excuse. You don't have dating problems. You have personal problems which manifest themselves into dating problems. So if at the moment your dating life is in shambles, most likely your personal life is in shambles as well. And usually it leads to money. Like, usually it leads to finances. Because if you did have the financial purchasing power to hop on a flight to go anywhere tomorrow, that is power, that is leverage, right? And that's the place that we want to get to. I would say, if you can save around $10,000, right? If you can save around $10,000, have $10,000 in your bank account, you can literally leave your job and spend 6 months in Southeast Asia. You can live like a king out here. And I think for a lot of you boys, that's what you need. You need to break away from the familiarity. Like, if you're living in fucking Grimsby and you're trying to cold approach, you ain't gonna do it. It is a waste of time. You need to optimize your environment. Environment's everything, right? Good game cannot make up for a shitty location. This is why finances and cold approach go hand in hand, right? You're only as good as what you can play against. So if at the moment you're not living in an inspired location, and that's the reason why you're not getting dates, because if you're not living in a city that you actually enjoy, then you don't feel good about yourself. You probably don't find the women attractive. They can sense your pessimistic aura because you hate yourself and you hate your life. So you need to get the fuck out of there, right? Learn high-ticket remote sales, learn fucking drop shipping, learn e-commerce, build a personal brand on YouTube like I've done, give value, create an offer that people want to buy, you know? Like inside of our private community, the Entourage, we are literally getting guys jobs. Had a conversation with one of our guys yesterday and he was like, dude, after the conversations that we had, I've now got 2 job opportunities, one in real estate, the other one in high-ticket sales. Like, we've literally got guys in our community who can link you up with jobs. Because again, you don't know what you don't know. You have to understand, to get good at cold approach, it's not just about cold approaching. It's about holistic transformation, personal renaissance, just exploding your entire existence, becoming the most fuckable version of yourself, investing into your conversation skills, living an international lifestyle, being able to hop on a flight and go anywhere, go to a place where you find the women attractive. Now you feel more excited. She feels what you feel. The girl is your mirror. So environment is everything, right? Good game does not make up for a shitty location. So if at the moment you're not getting the dates that you want, you're not attracting the women that you want, then your location is probably a big part of that, right? If you're waking up every day in fucking Marbella, you know, sun-soaked streets, absolute worldy strutting past you, then you wouldn't have a problem getting dates, right? You'd be out there, call approaching, learning the skill set. So environment really is everything. And the final thing that I would say to you boys is, now that you understand, it's not just about parading around the streets for 8 hours. Like, the streets are a great training ground. Don't get stuck there. The final thing that I would say to make your cold approach way more efficient and increase the amount of dates that you're currently getting is by optimizing for warm approaching, all right? So warm approaching is where you approach a woman who's already signaled interest in you. Warm approaching is the best way to guarantee dates, right? Because if you're walking down the street and you see a woman who's checking you out, then she's thinking about you, she clearly likes you, and she probably wants you to approach her. But in her mind, because it's the daytime, she's probably thinking to herself, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if that charming individual came over and spoke to me? But oh, that's never gonna happen. We live in this age where men have lost their balls and it's all about dating apps and grotty nightclubs and DMing me on Instagram. Ha ha ha, wouldn't that be nice? If you can be that decentralized top 1% player who can bypass the bullshit, go straight over to her once she's checked you out, dude, you're gonna have more high quality options than you know what to do with. But understand, in order to actually get looks from women, you actually have to be a guy who gets looks. Like, when I started this 4 years ago, I wasn't getting looks from anybody. If I was getting looks, it was probably, what the fuck is that horror show in front of me? So again, the way you start is not the way that you finish. If you're ugly as fuck at the moment, you can improve yourself. I'm a living example of that. I used to look horrific. Now I look less horrific. So I just don't buy any of this bullshit anymore. Like, oh, I'm a 5 out of 10. I'm average. It can't work for me. Right, great. It won't work for you then. Forget about it. Take up knitting and forget about dating. I just don't have time for these low-life losers anymore because I literally used to be that guy and I've transformed myself. So if I've been able to do it, you can fucking do it as well. So warm approaching is a guaranteed way to just start getting more dates lined up, right? So you leave the house, you're looking and feeling like the most fuckable version of yourself. Something that I like to do is just do some form of physical exercise before I actually, be hashtag social, because what I find is once I've broken the ice with myself by doing hardcore physical exercise, so I train Muay Thai, then do resistance training. It's like 3:30 p.m. in Bangkok now, and I just feel as though, dude, I just feel socially electric right now. I feel as though I can do anything. I feel as though I can talk to anybody. I don't have all that bullshit, which is usually when I wake up, I'm like, nah, not really in the mood to talk to people. So I know for me, belief follows action. And for me to get myself into a social state, usually it involves physical exercise at the start of my day. That's just me. Maybe try it out. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. I don't know you personally, but hopefully that helps. And then when you have left the house and you're looking and feeling like the best fucking version of you, it's really important as well before you actually leave that you set an intention. So for warm approaches to be like 100% efficient, you actually want to set the intention. So basically before, or even just like whilst you're walking through the street, like you want to say to yourself, listen, if I see somebody who interests me, then I'll go over and I will talk to that person, right? Because intention leads to creation. If you leave the house with no intention, then you might see a woman who's checking you out, but because you've not set the intention, you pussy out and you bail on it. So it's important that you just have that conversation with yourself. Just make that pact with yourself before you go out to cold approach. Otherwise, it can be a waste of a good state. It's like you could leave the house feeling really amazing, but then you see that woman checking you out, and then because you've not had that conversation, you've not set that intention, you can just let her walk on by, and then that depletes your state. Or you might not approach her because you don't want to sacrifice your state. You might be like, oh, nah, I feel so good right now. I don't want to ruin this feel-good state. So then you just end up walking through the streets, getting a lot of IOIs or indicators of interest, but you don't talk to anybody. So it's like, oh, you got checked out, but you're still sleeping alone because you didn't act on the invitations which were being signaled to you. So become as fuckable as possible. Get yourself like a pre-approaching ritual. It doesn't need to be anything like, it doesn't need to last for the whole day, but I do think that getting ourselves into this fuckable state where our aura is on point, where we just feel like the guy, I think that's so important to actually getting consistent dates from cold approach, because again, she feels what you feel. The girl is definitely your mirror. I think the final thing that I'll say, boys, and this is so important because it feeds into just overall belief and inner game, which is so crucial in this space. Just start talking more highly of yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a guy and you are improving yourself, you are putting the reps in, you are training at the gym, you are doing combat sports, you are looking at different ways to diversify your income, you're looking at, I don't know, leaving your job and living an international lifestyle, like, just make sure you're actually celebrating yourself as an individual. This is something that I see a lot with the guys who I work with. So the guys who I work with are like 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, business owners and high achievers. Oftentimes they are crushingly cruel commentators of themselves, right? So they don't big themselves up. They don't have that justified arrogance, right? Justified arrogance, something that we need more of, right? Especially if you fit the archetype of my traditional client. Like, you have worked your bollocks off to get where you are today. Think of all the struggles, think of all the obstacles, think of all the sacrifices you've had to make to live the life you're now living, to build that business, to actually skyrocket your status in your profession. So when you're going over to these women, have this justified arrogance, whether that's just saying to yourself before you go into your approaches, I'm the fucking guy. She's gonna be so lucky to get to meet me today. I'm the fucking guy. I can do anything that I set my mind to. Just having like affirmations, which then springboard you into taking action. But I think more of us just need to have this justified arrogance, actually just like being our biggest cheerleader rather than a crushingly cruel commentator of our own capabilities. Actually just speaking highly of ourselves, acting like we are the fucking guy, acting as if we've already got everything that we wanted. That's a really great exercise that I get guys to do. Just imagine right now that you had 10 beautiful women in your phone who were desperate to go on a date with you, and then act as if you already are that version of you, because dude, that version of you already exists, right? That version of you already exists. Like, if you can imagine that version of you, you can become it, right? 4 years ago, when I was a porn addict who had erectile dysfunction and looked like a turnip, I wasn't focused on who I was. I wasn't even focused on who I'd been. I was focused on who I wanted to become, right? So the person, like the version of me who's speaking to you today, I'm a product of my own imagination. I said to myself 4 years ago, listen, I might not be the version of me that I want to be right now, but fuck me. I know who I want to be. I know I want to be the best in the world at this skill set. I know I want to live an international lifestyle. I know I want to be able to make more money a month than I know what to do with. All of that's come true. Everything that I said would happen has happened, right? So it all starts in imagination. If you can imagine yourself living your dream every single day, like what does your ideal reality look like? Like, if you can imagine having beautiful women on rotation, if you can imagine having more high quality options that you know what to do with, if you can imagine unlocking this top 1% skill set, just imagine how that would feel, and then start tapping into that, right? Because if you can imagine it, you can become it. Like, the universe actively wants to give you the things that you want, but it needs to make sure that you're actually worthy of achieving them. Actions need to match ambitions. This is why I say to you boys, don't chase goals, chase an identity. So what does the most fuckable version of yourself look like? How does he move? How does he talk? How much money is he making? How many dates is he going on a week? If he's got a girlfriend, what does she look like? What are her values? What was her childhood like? How does she improve your life? Like, just get super specific, not on the goal, but on the identity. And then rather than saying, I want, it's I commit. I commit to becoming the most fuckable version of myself. So what I want you boys to do, because we're only just scratching the surface on this live stream. If you've not done so already, download my Most Fuckable Man course. In that course, on one of the modules, I walk you through step by step how to actually create your custom-made character and craft your custom-made reality. Like, it's literally what I've done step by step to go from who I was to who I'm at now. And I'm actually in the process at the moment of creating my own new Renaissance document, because I've achieved everything that I wanted to have achieved. 4 years ago, this was my dream, right? This was my dream. Like being the best in the world at what I do, changing people's lives for a living, having the best client results in the industry, being known around the world, becoming the most fuckable version of me, scaling my business to $42,000 a month. Like everything that I wanted to happen has happened. It doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. And dude, I'm only just getting started. So download that free course. It'll give you a complete practical blueprint for chasing an identity rather than a goal. And then you just reverse engineer it. It's really fucking easy and it really fucking works as long as you do. So if you've enjoyed this live stream, drop it a like. Like the live stream. It tells me that you enjoy and appreciate me showing up every single day, even when I'm not in the mood to actually put these together. Even when I'm like, don't really want to do a live stream today, I'm doing them every single fucking day. Every single day for an entire year, I am doing a live stream because I understand the importance of showing up. That's what we need to do. We show up. Yeah, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're not in the mood, even when you could be scrolling on social media or binge watching Netflix, just start showing up more, because that's what the most fuckable version of yourself does. He shows up every single day, despite the resistance. He uses resistance as his compass, and he does what most guys, and he does what most people are not prepared to do. So, look, boys, I'm doing my best to expostulate my thoughts on these live streams. I apologize if sometimes it's a bit sporadic and I go all over the place like a human zigzagging jigsaw, but dude, I just want to change lives for a living. That's all I'm focused on now. Like, yeah, making money is amazing. Everyone should be striving to become wealthy so we can look after the people who matter to us. But you know what? I'm in a position in my life right now where I just want to focus on impact over revenue. That's all I want to do. I want to show up on these live streams every fucking day, give enormous amounts of value, and just help you as much as possible, because I know what it's like to feel lost and afraid and alone, but nobody is coming to save you, right? I said at the start of this live stream, I'll just tell you what you need to know rather than what you want to hear. I'm fully aware my way of doing things is not for everybody, right? A lot of people get offended by me, like, oh, why are you yelling at me? Fuck you. Like, this is the sorry state of men today, like little snowflakes who can't take criticism. Like, get yourself into a fight gym, go to a Muay Thai training session, go there once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. That's gonna beat the little bitch out of you. Because a lot of you boys at the moment, you are just little bitches. There's no better ways to describe it. Oh, I wanna talk to a girl, but I'm worried she's gonna reject me. Oh, fuck you, Pedro. Fuck you. It's like your ancestors died on a battlefield and you can't just go over to a woman and say, hey, you look nice, have a good day. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. So again, if you get offended by me, I don't really care. You can dislike the live stream. You can cry into your heart-shaped pillow. I'm going all the way to the top and I'm taking my people with me. If you do resonate with me and you do fuck with me, then I appreciate you. That's the whole, I think one of the points of life is to attract our people and repel the rest. Yeah, if everybody liked me, then it means somewhere along the way I've really fucked up. All right, so polarize the world. Lead with authenticity. Connect with your most authentic self. Dive bomb into discomfort. Do what terrifies you on a daily basis. Don't stop. Be relentless. Have wild ambitions. Shout about your dreams from the fucking rooftops. And if people don't like you, fuck them. So boys, like the live stream. I'll speak to you boys again tomorrow. And I love you all very much. Mwah.